Hello, everybody, and welcome to my favorite day of the week. It is Worldwide Wednesday, and I am Danny. You are here with Blue Door Media. Now, every Wednesday on Worldwide Wednesday, we ask our audience to send in some questions, anything related to the planet, and I will do some research, and we will learn about it together. It's my favorite day of the week, and I'm very excited. The questions are not on these papers. These just make me look important, and I like to go like this. Without further ado, let's get into the first question of the week, and it is from Kelly in San Diego. Kelly writes, "Hi, Danny. Here in San Diego, sometimes there's a phenomenon simply known as bioluminescence, when the ocean is electric blue at night. Could you tell me what causes this incredible display to happen, and if we know when it will happen again? Thanks, Kelly." Kelly, this is a great question. Bioluminescence is something that I got to experience in person for the first time this year in San Diego. Bioluminescence is caused by a red tide. If you've ever heard of red tide, it can make the ocean red, kind of smelly. That is the same organism that causes a bioluminescence. If you don't know what bioluminescence is, it's when an animal makes a bright flash, any sort of organism makes a bright flash using a chemical reaction in their body. A lot of these animals live deep in the ocean, but the animals that are causing the bioluminescence in San Diego are called dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates are unicellular protists. What that means is that they're very small plankton. And they're a type of plankton that has a compound in their body called luciferin. Luciferin mixes with oxygen and makes a bright blue flash. That is what you're seeing in the bioluminescence that happens in San Diego. You get these big phytoplankton blooms where there's lots of phytoplankton in the area. As the ocean mixes them, they're giving off that flash. Scientists don't really know why a lot of animals bioluminesce. For the dinoflagellates, we think it may be to deter predators, so they'll send that flash out into the water, it'll distract the predator, and they'll go towards the flash away from the animal. So they're actually releasing the luciferin from their body. All right. Kelly also wants to know when it will happen again. So I looked into this, and San Diego does not have a monitoring program, interestingly enough, for the bioluminescence, so we're not exactly sure what will happen again. Look at this fly coming in, joining us on our Worldwide Wednesday. Hello, little fly. So sorry. So we don't know when it will happen again, but they've been monitoring bioluminescence since the early 1900s. It appears to happen every 5 to 10 years, although in recent years it's been happening more frequently. So maybe next year, fingers crossed, it is a really cool phenomenon. Thank you for your question, Kelly. Really appreciate that. Question 2 comes from Jason. He writes, "Danny, what is your favorite part of the world and why? What can be done to protect these places by the average person?" I really liked how Jason worded that question. Normally, I would say a coral reef. I love coral reefs, but we talked about coral reefs last week. So I'm going to say something different. I'm going to go with somewhere that I've been that blew me away, and it was British Columbia, more specifically Banff National Park. I had the immense pleasure of spending about a week in Banff, and we did Glacial National Park as well. This place was just unbelievable. It was so wild and untamed. Such a good place to go and get that connection with nature. There was not a lot of people around. Even at some of the more popular places, you could really just walk for 5 minutes and be totally on your own, and really get that connection with nature. Such a magical place. I highly recommend everyone get to go there. We saw bighorn sheep, caribou, deer. We saw black bear. It was just amazing. And the water is this bright electric blue. I can't even explain it. It's not like any of the blue I have on my shirt, really. But it's just fascinating. And it's from the glacial melt. So as the glaciers melt, the water comes down, picks up all this silt and sediment from the mountains, and it just makes it this amazing color. You have to go to Banff National Park. Second part of Jason's question, what can be done to protect these places by the average person? I love that. We talked about this a little bit last week. Politics is not our thing. I really don't want to dive in onto politics, but if protecting environmental places, environmental conservation, if that's important to you, research a candidate who's going to do that, going to protect the things that are important to you, and vote for them. Obviously, British Columbia is not in the U.S., so voting won't have a huge. But you know what I'm saying. If your interests lie in environmental conservation, vote for a candidate that's going to put those interests at the forefront. Some other things you can do is when you visit these places, think about what you're bringing. So when you bring your water, I swear this is water, this is not moonshine. when you bring your water to a national park, please don't bring a plastic bottle. You don't need to bring a plastic bottle. You don't need to bring this jug, but you can bring a reusable water bottle, and then you don't have to worry about the plastic staying there. It's a simple thing to think about what you're bringing to these places and bring things that are reusable, things that are going to come home with you. You've heard of leave no trace, right? So when you go to a place like Banff National Park, leave no trace. I would even challenge you to leave that place better than it was than when you get there. So whenever I go on a hike, backpacking, camping, I bring a trash bag, right? Because I'm going to have trash. My trash goes in the trash bag. If I see trash along the trail or at some of the landmarks, pick it up. As long as it's not dangerous, most trash that you're going to find in the forest is going to be safe for you to pick up. Pick up that trash, toss it away. That way, if everyone leaves the place a little bit better than when they found those places will remain pristine. That's how I found Banff National Park to be absolutely pristine. It was phenomenal, phenomenal experience. So just to reiterate, Banff National Park, one of my favorite places. To protect those places, vote. And also make sure you're using reusable water bottles. Don't bring your beer cans, things like that. There's reusable everything. Just bring the reusable stuff and leave those places a little bit nicer than when you found them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in Worldwide Wednesday. It really is my immense pleasure to do this. It's my favorite day of the week. I love talking about the planet. And remember, just like last week, I challenge you to ask me a question. Anything on your mind about the planet. Could be animals, could be ecosystems, climate, weather. Anything you can think of, please ask me. I will do the research and we can learn about it together. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Blue Doors Worldwide Wednesday. This is Danny signing off. Have a great day.